of all those complaining that men take more chances, more privileges, oppress women, there has never been a case of a sugar mommy complaining that of a tomboy or a boy, because a sugar mommy pays the bills. Hello my viewers, I welcome you back again to this channel. In recent years, women generally, especially in Africa, have been demanding for more rights in the space of marriage. They want more privileges because they believe men have certain privileges that they do not have, and more especially that men use those privileges against them. Therefore, they feel that they need more privileges too, just like they have in some other countries, notably the Western world. They want to be equal to men in marriages. However, there's no culture, there's no country in the world where men and women are equal in marriage. The Western world that African women want to tailor their life after too do not have equality. While in Africa, men have certain privileges. In Europe, in America, women have certain privileges. And of course, while men in Africa use their privileges over women, maybe to their own advantage, to the advantages of men, in Western world, women use such privileges they have too in their own favor. So why they clamor for women in Africa to up their game or to have more chances in things they want to do in marriages? So let's see the two cultures, the Western world and Africa, and see how we can strike a balance. Because in my opinion, neither African standard or the Western world standard is good enough. In the United States, privileges are taken away from men and given to women because in the eye of the law, women are weaker vessels. Therefore, they must be protected. And that is why they have more privileges. For instance, if a man, a husband and his wife have issues, have problems, and the law will have to come in, notably, police have to come in, the man must vacate the home. The woman stays, irrespective of who is wrong or who is right. In Africa, in the same scenario, the man keeps the house, the woman is thrown out. So neither of the two communities is perfect. However, I think in Africa, women have certain privileges that Western world women do not have. Therefore, they should not use that as a basis for them to clamor for more privileges. For instance, in the Western world, when they want to marry, nobody forces anybody. Nobody is involved in their marriage apart from the two people who want to marry. The families of the two partners or potential partners, male and female, are not necessarily needed by their custom, by their laws. But in Africa, take Nigeria for instance, marriages are between two families and not two individuals. Therefore, the two families must agree before marriage can be contracted. And to make that functional, to make that work out, the family of the potential wife will make a list of items which must be supplied compulsorily by the family, not by the family, not the man, by the family of the man before the marriage can be contracted. Meaning that before the family of the woman will allow their daughter to marry the man, there are certain things, list on items that the family of the man must fulfill. Generally, it will contain food items, money, maybe kitchen utensils, clothes, and any other thing they feel like. These items must be provided by the family of the man before the marriage can be contracted. If those things are not fully supplied, during the day of what we call traditional marriage or engagement, those items will be monetized. It is compulsory that they pay all those items. And this is very, very compulsory, because without it, marriage cannot be contracted. As I said, it is worrisome. It is to the extent in some parts of Nigeria, notably the Igbo land in Nigeria. If those items are not fulfilled, if the list is not attended to, the man cannot marry, the woman cannot marry. And if both parties, the woman and the man, decide to live together, to them it is cohabitation, that is not marriage. And no matter the number of children produced by that unholy union, the children do not belong to the man. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that in Africa, man has a specific duty before he can be married. It is not so in Western world. So if a man will need to pay and pay and pay to get the freedom or the license, so to say, to marry a woman, I think he should be given a kind of advantage in that union. He should be given a privilege for doing that, because there are people, there are men who could not marry because they do not have enough money to buy the items on that list. To make it worse, those items cannot be negotiated by the man. And in cases where the man wants to negotiate, the approval will still come from the family of the woman. So the family of the woman dictates what and what the man should bring before their daughter will be released to be married. This doesn't happen in Western world. People can meet within 1 week and get married without even informing their parents. So what I'm trying to say now is that the way we contract marriage in Africa is different from the way the Western world contracts their marriage. Therefore, we have different responsibilities and there must be different benefits. And that is what many men in Africa are banking their superiority ideology on when it comes to marriage. Again, finances in African marriage is tilted towards man. Man supplies the greater percentage of finances. In fact, it is an unwritten law that man must provide the accommodation where the couple will live. It doesn't work like that in the Western world. Anybody can get the house, anybody can get the accommodation. And in most cases, they do 50-50. They put hands together, they put money together to secure accommodation for both of them. But in Africa, we don't see it as fine enough. We don't see it as good enough for the man to share accommodation bills with his wife. So the man must provide. That is another burden on the man. And in my own opinion, that is another reason why men in Africa want to take advantages. There are many instances, there are many cases where things like that happen in Africa that do not happen in the Western world. For example, except the man is poor, it is the responsibility of the man to pay the children's school fees. In Europe, in America, it is not like that. It is the responsibility of the two of them. So in essence, if women in Africa want more privileges as obtainable in the Western world, my own opinion is that they should take on more responsibilities. And that is why when African women move from Africa to Europe or to America, they have more privileges because they are more financially forthcoming. They must work, they must bring out money. In Africa, it doesn't work like that. A woman may not work. In Europe, you must work as a woman. In America, you must work as a woman. So, in essence, if women in Africa want more privileges, which is a standard now, which must come to pass, if we cannot stop it, women will have more privileges. There is no way you can stop that, because this is a trending thing. Women must have more privileges. There is no way we can stop that. And I'm not against that. But what I'm trying to say is that they must take more responsibilities. If they take more responsibility, it will be natural for them to take more privileges. The idea that men oppress women in Africa is because men take more responsibility. That is why they take more chances. For example, of all those complaining that men take more chances, more privileges, oppress women, there has never been a case of a sugar mommy complaining that of a, will I say, tomboy or a boy, because a sugar mommy pays the bills. So the man in that case cannot take certain privileges. In fact, a sugar mommy who pays the bills for a man is always in charge. So a sugar mommy take privileges. She cannot complain. It is when men take more responsibilities, it is then they take more advantages, they take more privileges, which to me is natural. So instead of struggling, instead of complaining, the easy part for women to move forward in the ladder of privileges and more recognition is by working harder and taking more responsibilities. If you take more responsibility, it is a natural cause that you have more privileges. No African man will forgo his privileges. No African man will be pushed to the background, except he is not forthcoming in his responsibility. So women generally are encouraged to take more responsibility. And that is why, as I said, when they move abroad, things change, because they know they must work, and they know they must contribute, and they are doing that. Why is it that they cannot do it in Africa? Why is it in Africa the burden of almost everything is on the man, and if the man takes the burden, he takes the benefits? That is what happens. That is my opinion. Women who want more privileges should take more responsibilities. Well, this is my opinion anyway. If you feel differently, it is my opinion. You have your own opinion, and you can, if you feel good, put it in the comment section and see how you feel. Thank you very much again for coming up to this time on this channel and on this content. I appreciate you. Thank you and remain blessed.